All right, welcome back, third grade, to the story of Dr. Dolittle. Chapter 9, The Rarest Animal of All. Push-me-pull-yous are now extinct. That means there aren't any more. But long ago, when Dr. Dolittle was alive, there were some of them still left in the deepest jungles of Africa. They had no tail. They had two heads, one at each end. Each head had sharp horns. They were very shy and hard to catch. You could not sneak up behind one to catch him while he wasn't looking. No matter which way you came toward him, he was always facing you. And besides, only one half of him slept at a time. The other head was always awake and watching. This was why there were never any caught and never seen in zoos. Well, the monkeys set out to find this animal, and after they had gone many miles, one of them found some strange footprints near the edge of a river. They knew that a push-me-pull-you must be near that spot. Then they went along the riverbank a little way. They saw a place where the grass was high and thick, and they guessed that he was in there. So they all joined hands and made a great circle around the high grass. The push-me-pull-you heard them coming. He tried hard to break through the ring of monkeys, but he couldn't do it. When he saw that it was no use trying to escape, he sat down and waited to see what they wanted. They asked him if he would go with Dr. Dolittle and be in a show in the land of England. He shook both heads at once and said, "Certainly not." They explained to him that he would not be shut up in a zoo, but would just be looked at. They told him that the doctor was a very kind man, but he had no money. They said that people would pay to see a two-headed animal. The doctor would get rich and could pay for the boat he had borrowed to come to Africa in. But he answered, "No. You know how shy I am. I hate being stared at." And he almost began to cry. Then for 3 days they tried to get him to go with the doctor. And at the end of the third day he said he would come with them and first see what kind of man the doctor was. So the monkeys traveled back with the push-me-pull-you. And when they came to the doctor's little house of grass, they took him in. "What in the world is it?" asked Dr. Dolittle. "Oh my," cried the duck. "How does it make up its mind?" "This, doctor," said Chee-Chee, "is the push-me-pull-you, the rarest animal of the African jungles. The only two-headed beast in the world. Take him home with you and you will be rich. People will pay money to see him." "But I don't want any money," said the doctor. "Yes, you do," said Dab-Dab the duck. "Don't you remember how poor we were before? And how are we going to get that sailor a new boat?" "I was going to make him one," said the doctor. "Oh, really now," cried Dab-Dab. "Where would you get all the wood and nails? Take the funny-looking thing and make some money with the show." "Well, perhaps," said the doctor. "It certainly would make a nice new kind of pet. But does the, really want to go to England?" The push-me-pull-you saw at once that he could trust the doctor. "Yes, I'll go," he said. "You have been so kind to the animals here, and the monkeys tell me that I am the only one who will do. But you must promise me that if I do not like it in England, you will send me back." "Why, of course," said the doctor. "Excuse me, surely you are from the deer family, are you not?" "Yes," said the push-me-pull-you, "from the Ethiopian gazelles and the Asian goats on my mother's side. My father's great-grandfather was the last of the unicorns." "Most interesting," said the doctor. "I notice," said the duck, "that you only talk with one of your mouths. Can't the other head talk?" "Oh, yes," said the push-me-pull-you, "but I keep the other mouth for eating mostly. In that way I can talk while I'm eating without being rude. Our people have always been very polite." The monkeys gave a grand party for the doctor after he had packed. All the animals of the jungle came. They had pineapples and mangoes and honey and all sorts of good things to eat and drink. After they had all finished eating, the doctor got up and said, "My friends, I am not clever at speaking long words after dinner, and I have just eaten many fruits and much honey. I wish to tell you that I am very sad at leaving your beautiful country. But I must go, for I have things to do back in my home country. After I have gone, remember never to let the flies settle on your food before you eat it. And do not sleep on the ground when the rains are coming. I hope you all live happily ever after." Then he sat down. All the monkeys clapped their hands a long time. They said to one another, "Let it be remembered always among our people that he sat and ate with us here under the trees, for he surely is the greatest of men." And the grand gorilla, who had the strength of 7 horses in his hairy arms, rolled a great rock up to the head of the table and said, "This stone for all time shall mark the spot." And even to this day, in the heart of the jungle, the stone is still there, and monkey mothers passing through the forest with their families still point down at it from the branches and whisper to their children, "Shh, there it is, look, where the good doctor sat and ate food with us in the year of the great sickness." Then, when the party was over, the doctor and his pets started out to go back to the seashore, and all the monkeys went with him as far as the edge of the country, carrying his trunk and bags to see him off. Bye.